In the previous video, we transferred all of this JSON data using the JSON response. In the today's section, we are going to learn about serializations. So just go on the official documentation, click on the tutorials and click on the serializations. Now to create a serializations, we have to create a serialization.py file. So in our student data API, right click and create a serialization.py. Remember, spelling is Serializers. Now serialization is nothing but the way to connect Django models and transfer the Django models to a JSON format. Now as you can see in the previous video we saw, if we wanna send the data, we have to create a blueprint of data and send that blueprint in the JSONs. Now in the serializers.py, we are going to create a serializers. Now there is two kinds of serializers. Let's say if you wanna just watch the data, you don't wanna do anything, you don't wanna change any of the data, you just wanna watch the data. So what you can do, you can use this serializers. But if you wanna send the data from front end to back end, so you can deserialize that data. As you can see in here, we are using simply response. It means we are just sending the data. So we just grab all of the data like first name, last name, age, roll number and pass. And we send all of the data into the JSON format. So in the serializer, we are gonna do same thing. So let's create a serializers. First of all, from REST framework import serializers, then create a class same as model.py and inherit this student data serializers with serializers. Serializers. In this serializers class, just use all of this field but change the models to serializers. For example, let's try serializers dot. As you can see, we got a lots of field: character field, integer field, boolean, validation error, date time, decimal, float, file. Even we got time field, slug field, image field, and so on. But now if you are thinking why we need to create all of these fields again, because this is just like the form. User can see all of these fields, and if user wanna pass the data in these fields, user can do this. Now we are going to grab all of this data into our views.py file, or if you wanna send the data into the front end, so what you can do, you can grab all of the data in the views.py and send those data in the serializers, and these serializers will send all of this data in the front end. So as you can see, serializers is nothing but the way to connect the front end and back end. So now let's jump into our views.py, and in here what we are gonna do, first we are gonna remove all of this. Then from Django.rest framework, from rest framework dot response import response, from rest framework dot response import response. So first let's grab all of the models data. So all data equal to dot objects dot all data equal to student data model dot objects dot all. Now we have to import these serializers in this views.py file. Oops, we have to do all of this stuff in the student data API dot views.py file. So again, let me just quickly import the response and all data equal to student data model dot objects dot all. Now let's import the serializers.py file. From student data app dot student data API dot serializers import star means import all of this stuff. Now in here what we are going to do, we are going to use the serializers or serializers, student data serializers, and store it in some variables. Let's say ss equal to student data serializer, and we are going to pass this all of the data in here, and then simply we are going to return the response, which is nothing but this DjangoRest response or ss.data. And remember, because we have multiple data, so just write many equal to true. Now what we just done here, first we grab all of this data, then we use our serializers, which is nothing but this serializer, and we send all of this our student data models data into the serializers. Now it will store all of this data, it will store in these serializers, and that is why we created all of this field. It is gonna store one by one in these serializers, and because we have multiple data, that's why many equal to true. And we send this serializers data in the response sh.data. So I hope you got the idea how these things work. Now this is the get request. Get means we are just sending data. We don't need to do anything more, just send the data. So let's try this. Now when you visit your website, you will get this error, assertions error at student data API. It means you have to use a particular decorators for particular equations. For example, in this case, we are sending the data. It means we are using the get request, and for that we have to use the views. In our case, get API views. Now first of all, import from REST framework.views, import API views. By default it's get, but if you wanna pass the post, put, delete, you can do it too. Now as you can see, API policy attributes, we got all of this information available in this API guide in the views. Now because for now we are using the function based views, we have to use these decorators. As you can see, the core of functionality is the API views decorators, which take a list of HTTP method that your view should respond to. For example, this is how you would write a very simple views that just manually return some data. In our case, we are just sending the data, and for that just simply use the @API views, or you can pass the get post like this. If any user is available to send the data, or you can say if user can add the data, save the data, so you can use the post, or else you can use the get. In our case, we are just sending the data, so by default it's get. And for that, from REST framework.decorators, import API view. So now if you visit our website, as you can see, it's perfectly working, and we can see our GUI versions of datas. DjangoRest provide a graphical user interface, and in here as you can see, we got the HTTP 200 OK. In the next video we are gonna learn more about this code. This is nothing but the status code, and in here as you can see, we got our URL, and in here as you can see, we got the get. It means we can just read the data, we can change the data. And allow equal to get and option. If you send the post, so you will see get and post both option in here, and you will see a container where you can change the text. Now this is our JSON data. As you can see, this was coming from serializers.py, and in here as you can see, we can see the JSON format too. This is our data. So that was the easiest way to send the response of DjangoRest framework, and that was the serializers. Now serializers contain lots of methods. In the next video we are going to create a post request. We can change the data, and for that we are gonna use like this, create and update functions in our serializers. So that is it for today's guys. If you liking this DjangoRest series, so just like this video, share this video with other programmer, and if you don't wanna miss the next part, hit on the bell icon. See you guys in the next video. Till then, just code.